Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm going to use a Turtle Python module to code a Christmas tree. Stick around if you want to see how it's done. We're going to use the Turtle graphics documentation as guidance, so we just put in Turtle documentation up here and we get the graphics documentation. So everything we need is in here. So to do this, we're going to first import our modules. We're going to create our function, which is going to be a rectangle, because both the trunk here and each of the parts of the tree are rectangles. We're going to create our turtle from the class that we just imported up here. Same with our screen. We're going to create our screen so that we can actually, this is our screen here, so we can actually run the program. So we're going to draw our tree trunk and our tree, calling on the function that we just created up here. So that's our rectangle, but this and all these are rectangles. And then we're going to draw our star and we're going to write our message. So our star up here. And this is all going to be done using the Python Turtle module. So let's start by importing our modules. So we're going to from turtle import star, and that means import everything. And then we're going to do it again, import turtle. So the next thing we're going to do is create our function. That's for our rectangle, that's for the trunk and the tree itself. So we're going to define our function. Because we're going to call it twice, we're just going to make a function rather than copying and pasting our code twice, which is not really the right way of doing it. So we're defining a rectangle function. We're going to take the argv, what we're actually calling is turtle. It's going to take the color of the turtle. And we're going to do the x, y coordinates of where we want our turtle to be on the screen. So the screen is divided into x, y coordinates. And then we're going to do the width of our rectangle and the height of our rectangle. So the next part is to prepare the pen of the turtle. So we're going to do turtle pen up. So pen up is, so the pen is lifted off the screen and it can move the cursor to where it needs to be, where it needs to start. So without drawing a line, if the pen is down, it's going to draw a line as it's moving. With the pen up, it's not going to draw any line, it's just preparing to draw a line. So we're going to color our turtle. So basically everything we have up here, we're going to put down here into the function. And turtle go to. And these are all methods of the turtle module. So we're going to go to x and y. These are x and y coordinates where we want the turtle to go to, as specified up here in the top of the function, the arguments. So we need to do turtle pen down. That is to start drawing our lines. And then turtle begin fill. So once that's done, we're actually going to start drawing our rectangle. It's still part of the same function. So to draw the rectangle, we're going to use a for loop. So for I in range 2. So it's going to draw half a rectangle and then it's going to do it twice. So that'll make a full rectangle. So turtle forward. And it's going to go forward the width. So we're going to set our go to here. And then it's going to go forward 240, which is the width. And then it's going to turn left and go up a height. Turn left and go the width. And that's going to keep looping for as long as we specify. So as I said, we're going to do turtle dot left 90 degrees. Turtle dot forward again. And this height. So remember, we go the width, we turn left to go the height, and then we turn left to go the width. So again, turtle left 90. So that will draw our rectangle first. And then when that's finished, we take out the loop and we'll turtle dot infill. So that's our function. So now that we've our function created, let's create our turtle. I'll move it up a bit so we can see. Create our turtle as, I'm going to call him Jim. So Jim is our turtle and he's assigned as an object, and Jim is assigned from the turtle class. So Jim is now an object of the turtle class. So Jim.shape is actually creating the turtle itself, the visual turtle. I'm going to call him turtle. And Jim.speed, I'm going to set it to 10, so it's speed between 0, which is the fastest, and 10 is the slowest. So I'm just going to leave it to 10 for the time being. So now we're going to make our screen. So screen is assigned to turtle dot screen. So that'll be a white screen. So to create a background color, we're going to go screen dot bg color, and we're going to set that to a light blue. So I'm going to do 6 9 delta 9 foxtrot. That's a light blue. So here now we're going to set our y and our width coordinates. I've done these calculations earlier, so you can just copy me if you wish. So y is going to be 100, and width, that's going to be the width of our rectangle, is going to be 240. So now that we have that done, well, let's test it. Let's try drawing the trunk of the tree. So we're going to call our rectangle function. So it's going to take some arguments. So it's going to take Jim as our turtle. It's going to take the color of Jim is going to be brown. Our x-axis for this one is going to be minus 15. Our y-axis is going to be minus 140. Our width is going to be 30. And our height is going to be 40. I'm not just making this up top of my head, I've actually made these calculations earlier. So in essence, this is what we're drawing here, this rectangle, which is the trunk of our tree. So the x and y axis will get to the point where it's starting, and then the height is going to be 40, the width is going to be 30, and the colour is going to be brown. So before I run the program, I just remembered I never actually put in the colour here, so colour. So when we call our function down here, our rectangle function, put in our colour, that's imposed in here, and then it's going to be brought into our function. I'm going to do screen is exit on click. So what this does, it stops the screen from closing until we're finished, otherwise it'll just pop up and go away again, we won't see it. So let's run the program. So there we have it, the turtle draws the trunk. So the next thing we're going to do is draw the tree, and the star, and the right. Okay, now let's look at drawing our tree. So we're going to utilize the same rectangle function as we did for the trunk of the tree, only this time we're going to add a few more bits into it. In essence, what we're trying to do is we're going to draw rectangles which are going to get smaller each time they progress up the tree. And the width is going to start at 240 and it's going to stop when it's less than 20. So the smallest up here is 20. So I'm going to write the code and I'll explain it as I'm going along, and I'll explain it when I finish then again. Okay, so our loop is going to run while our width is bigger than 20. So while width is bigger than 20. So as I said, it starts at 240 and it'll stop when it's no longer bigger than 20. So I'm going to set height to 25. Now our height is the height of our rectangle. So I'm going to set that to 25. So I'm going to do width and assign that to width minus height. So the width will start off at 240, then the next one will go to 215, and the next will it'll go 25 less as it goes up. So the next bit is the most complicated bit. It looks the most complicated. So we set x to 0 and we minus width divided by 2. So that will give us a minus number. So all that's doing is setting the start position for the next rectangle. So the start point will gradually get smaller as each rectangle starts, because it's going to be a lesser width than the predecessor. So now I'm going to call our function, so rectangle, and we're going to call Jim, who's our turtle. We're going to colour it green. our x coordinate, which is this here, our y coordinate, and our width and our height. So the last little bit of this is y assigned to y plus height. And we know height is 25. So let's go over this. So Jim is our turtle, and it's going to be green. Our x coordinate is here, and that starts here and then moves on smaller each time. It gets smaller each time the tree goes up. But how does it go up? Well, our y is going to bring it up. So our y is assigned to y plus height, which is y plus 25. So it's going to go up 25, 25, 25 the whole time. Now our width and our height that were set earlier, so width is 240 and height is 25. Now the height's going to remain the same throughout, it's going to be 25, so each of these is going to be 25. The width, however, is going to change using this calculation here, so it's going to minus height, so the width is going to be 25 less each time, so it'll start at 240, it'll go to 250, it'll get 25 smaller as it goes up until it gets to 20. So once this changes, this is going to impact our x coordinate. So our x coordinate in one sense will start here, then it'll start here and it'll start here. So all this works together to form our tree. So I think the best thing we could do now is run our program and see it in action. And you can see the turtle moving the whole time up. So it creates this rectangle, then it gets 25 smaller, and so it gets a new x and y coordinate, and it creates this rectangle, and it goes on and on until it gets to the top. And then when the loop is no longer bigger than 20, then it stops, which is here. Okay, let's draw our star. So what we need to do is we need to move our pen up to this location up here. So this is going to be, x is going to be minus 15, that's just where this coordinate is, and y is the height of the tree. So remember, we were using our y all the way up until it stopped here, so y is the top of the tree. And then we're going to put pen down, and then we're going to draw our star. So here we're going to do turtle.pen up, and then we're going to go turtle.goto. Now, as I said, I figured these coordinates out earlier, so 15 is the x-axis, that's the middle of the tree, and y is the top of the tree. Remember, y went up all the time to the height, so that's the height of the tree. So now that we're there, we need to do pen down. And now we have to colour it yellow. That's saying you want it yellow. You could colour it red or purple or whatever colour you choose. So now that we've got our colour, we'll fill it in. So turtle dot begin fill. So that will actually fill it in. So now that we have our prep done, we need to actually draw our star. So for that, we're going to use a loop. So for I in range 5, because the star has 5 sides to it. We're going to turtle forward 30. So we're going to move it forward 30. We're then going to turn right. And we're trying to right 144 degrees. And after that's done 5 times, so it's going to happen, and it's going to happen again, and it's going to happen 5 times. Once that's done, we're going to end our fill. So we're going to come out of our loop. And the next thing we want to do is actually hide our turtle so we don't see it on the tree. So turtle hide. So here we're moved to the position x and y, which is minus 15, and the y coordinate where it stopped, where our actual tree stopped. And we're drawing this 5 times. and now we're hiding our turtle. So if I was to run the program, well, that doesn't look quite right. It's a good learning point here actually, because I'm using y, which is the height of the tree, so maybe that's not correct. So maybe we plus, and we'll say 14, so y plus 14, and we're going to run that again. Now that's much better. That's where the star should be. So the last thing we need to do is write our Christmas message. Now I've been writing turtle.forward, turtle.right here all along, just to force a habit. But you don't actually have to do it because we imported everything up here. It's no harm doing it, but so just for the sake of clarity, I'm actually going to leave it out now for this last bit. So we need to get our pen to where we need it, so pen up. And then we need to choose our colour, so colour. And I'm going to make it the same colour as our star, so it's going to be yellow. And we need to go to our x and y coordinates. That's minus 130 for our x and minus 200 for our y. So now we need to write. So write, and our message is going to be Merry Christmas. And our font is going to be font assigned to Arial and 20. I'm going to change our speed from 10 to 0 just to make it the fastest, so I'm not waiting forever. And actually I'm going to change this to 100, so that should be minus 100, minus 200. So let's run our program. Perfect. If we wanted that, we can make our font that bit bigger. There we have it. Merry Christmas, everybody. And thank you for joining me in this video, and I hope I'll see you in the near future.